We can't really clap with these, can we?
No.
Normally we clap to start a video, but we can't really clap.
We're back to doing these ones again, aren't we?
We're back again.
We're back again, but this is a different vibe. This is a different vibe. It's a different setup, different purpose, different meaning, different lifestyle, different financial support.
Just everything.
So what podcast are we doing this time around for the 700th time?
A silly one.
A silly one, guys. So this is the Four Humans first episode podcast.
We're a bit more legit now, aren't we? We're not sitting at a cardboard table with we've got a black sheet.
Got a full legit
Skype.
setup. Exactly right. I feel like I hope this audio sounds a little bit clearer. Can't hear cars going past. Could probably hear a little bit of music in the background. We're currently at the shop right now. For those that are just listening,
it's 2:36 on a Wednesday afternoon,
and we've just released this episode for the first week of January. So, yeah, Four Humans. Let me just quickly break it down for you.
For me?
For you, because kind of I've taken the reins on this one just started.
How I ended up here? How am I here?
I'm like, we're doing this, Jacob. And he's like, oh, okay, sick. So, I thought in true fashion, I would just kind of start it. Hence why I called Jacob yesterday. I was like, you want to do the podcast tomorrow? He's like, yeah, sweet. So Four Humans is a brand that supports all mental health with all humans. Just a pretty basic thing. And we just want to bring knowledge and value to people that are either, suffering mentally, but not just kind of like educational stuff. We want to bring fun.
Just light escape, if you will.
A light escape.
Reality.
There's a couple of projects that we'll do over the year of 2022 that will support mental health, bring awareness around it. Hence, one of them being a boxing fight between people that we know. And we have to get our first guest speaker on. First guest speaker, you got to come on, mate.
There he is.
Hey, how are we? Jed Ambrose. He's the WBB, if that's right, bodybuilder. How are we today?
How are you? What's happening?
Yeah, we're good. This is the first podcast. It's probably not COVID safe. We filmed this in a COVID-free environment. But yeah, we don't really know. We've got a plan that we want to record these podcasts, but we don't know really how far we want to go with it. We just want to keep it very light. You ever seen Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive? Yeah, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's kind of like that, isn't it?
It is a little bit like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But how was your Christmas, Sonio, right?
It was good. Had a good Christmas. Lots of food, the usual. Family.
Christmas bulk.
I come in here just before Christmas. It was good. The tree's down. The tree's gone already.
The tree is down. Cody got rid of that tree today. Thank you, Haley, for making a lot of noise. No, that's all right. That's what we're here for. But Jed is. Look at this physique. Look at this fantastic physique. He's a hard worker in the gym. He's a hard worker outside the gym. He's a loyal. I don't like to call people customers or clients. He's a loyal friend to the shop.
He is a loyal friend.
Yeah. So.
OG to Civitas.
OG for sure. Anyway, we'll kick into it. Any words of advice for our listeners or people that are just tuning in?
Tune in. Listen to it all the time. Great bunch of blokes. I love coming in the shop. They're legends.
Appreciate it, bro. Have a good day. Enjoy your New Year's.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Are you in your position again?
Yeah, it's quite warm actually. Cody, could you do us a favour, my friend? Could you just make sure that the cameras are still recording? Like, it should just say record, yeah? You can be our camera operator, actually. We'll get a fluid head. Yeah, yeah. We've got the direct focus on you. That one. So if you want to look at this camera right here, it's directly on you today.
Okay. I'm just going to stare into the camera. If you're listening, you probably don't know what we're talking about, but there's a little surprise. Nick's wearing a nice little hat.
Yeah, I'm wearing a nice little hat. Jacob was wearing a hat, so I thought
exactly
I'd wear a hat too.
Festive spirit.
Haley, your segment's going to come up in about 10 minutes, so just prepare yourself. Cody, yours is coming up in 5 minutes.
doing appointments, are we?
Yeah, we're doing appointments. Okay, we're scheduled in. Make sure they get a hot towel shave.
What were we talking about prior to Jedith?
Yeah, Jedith. We were talking about the brand and what we want to do, and kind of like keeping it very light and fluffy, with going into some detail. Is we are massive advocates. If you just want to turn that down a little bit, there's no one else in here, so I mean you probably can't hear it too much in the microphones, which is great. But talking about the brand for humans, we really just want to support all humans, no matter if you're a guy, girl, fucking not a guy,
Neither.
not a girl, neither. Or what's the word? What's like the word for all of everyone?
Human.
Human, yes, all humans, no matter what. No matter what your
perhaps
race, your age, if you're fucking 96 or you're 6 and you're still dealing with mental health or whatever it is, we're just here to bring some comedy value, some fucking value.
There might be
and
some
shit.
sillies. There might be some normals. There might be.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think just bringing entertainment to the mental health space as well is because we all enjoy a bit of an escape. We enjoy, learning things. And
I definitely feel like the podcast world has.
just probably turn that music off, mate.
I mean, I know that I personally have been listening to a lot more now, and it's not necessarily like I have had my moments where I listen to the Gary V's and the Anthony Frizellas and the inspirational stuff, and it has a time and a place. But recently I've liked the just the more cash ones.
Yeah.
I think Impulsive is really cool because I like the idea of like something that's it's relaxed and there's a guest every now and then, but you're still learning some stuff and just kind of watching them hang out, and I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I think it's heaps more digestible.
Yes.
And especially like if we're putting on like, because we're pretty silly most of the time. Like Jacob and I are pretty like.
No, we're not.
We're very serious all the time, then, are we?
Exactly.
Fucking hell. Anyway, so so if you don't like swearing, don't listen to the podcast. Fuck. No, but like Jacob and I are pretty kind of like
Goofy, perhaps.
goofy boys. How would you best describe us, Cody?
Cody
Okay,
said
we're
crazy.
But whereas before we've done podcasts and it seemed a little bit too not us, I don't think. Like, and I feel like this time around, especially Jacob and I just said, okay, if we're doing a podcast again, we want it to be light and sexy.
Maybe we can involve some drinking.
Yeah, we could do some drinking. We are. So if you're a fan of, like, of course, we've said Impulsive fucking 700 times, but the boys from Melbourne, those guys that drink things and do...
Oh, Cold Ones.
Cold Ones, yes. If you're a big fan of Cold Ones, I think between Cold Ones, Impulsive, and...
I don't know, someone else.
Someone else, who knows?
Your wacky uncle.
Yeah, your wacky uncle. I think this would be the podcast for you. We're going to have, of course, guests on. We're not going to have guests on. We're going to have random people in the shop. But like literally today, like we've been cutting ham. We've got a space now, but we'll have people like as Jed just walked in, just people popping in here and there. And
characters.
I even said Cody's going to come down very soon. He's going to be a part of it. Going to be a part of it for sure. How's it? So yeah, let's just. There's.
I have a question. We already touched on this before we started. How many poos did you do on Christmas
How
Day?
many poos?
Because I was being updated via Snapchat of how many stools Nicholas was doing.
Well, I was. My bowel movements were quite heavy on Christmas Day. I was consuming quite a lot of food, and as some people may know and may not know, I've been trying to bulk for the past couple of weeks. So I use Christmas as an excuse to kind of just not have to work and just consume a lot of food.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off, but it's actually helped my metabolism quite a lot because I've actually put 2 kilos on since Friday.
Fucking
And
oath.
it's
A couple of prawns.
Tuesday.
Was that a couple of prawns? Christmas pudding.
Bro,
Bit of pudding.
fuck, a little bit. But do you know what? So Christmas Eve, right? I'm up at my mum's house, and my mum's boyfriend, Ben,
Benny.
he calls prawns. Fuck, bro, it's so funny. Sea maggots. I couldn't get over it. It was
Couple of sea maggots.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
I guess they are. They're kind of just like this little weird floating rat thing that just hangs out in the ocean and people suck them.
Yeah. They are, though, like sea maggots.
Yeah.
It's the kind of disgust. It kind of turns me off eating them. I didn't have any prawns, to be honest.
Do you know that people suck the heads of the prawn?
That's disgusting. There's some people that just eat
Madison
whole
does
prawn.
that.
Oh, that's disgusting, Madison.
Her whole family, most of her family does that actually. Supposedly it tastes quite nice, but I'm not game enough to try it. I actually still don't like peeling prawns, and I don't like them that much.
Either do
and
I.
if I have to peel them, no deal. If they're pre-peeled, I'll give them a go. They're quite nice.
I like cooked prawns, like garlic prawns. They're nice.
They're
like
gravy.
you can get like frozen they can get like those frozen prawns and then cook them in like garlic and shit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's pretty good. There you go. See, entertaining
else,
and educational.
Speaking of which, I had an idea.
Yeah.
And the idea was originally a challenge video, and it could perhaps proceed into a challenge video, or it could be a podcast. Our good friend Mitch, who used to be a chef, you've probably seen him in previous episodes of things we've done. Yep. I would like to do a
blindfolded eating challenge.
No, I want us to cook and battle each other, but I want Mitch to like prepare a box, kind of like MasterChef, and we have to make something out of the box of food and battle each other.
Because I enjoy cooking too, and I know you do enjoy cooking too.
I think it would be quite fun to have a box of random assortments of items, and we have to cook something, and then Mitch can judge.
He can be the judge.
But I don't know if we do that as a podcast and we just chat a bit of shit while we do it, or
because we could set up like some stoves over there or something like that.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty cool, and like we could have a timer on the wall, and that'd be pretty.
Or we could be like ready, steady, cook.
Yeah, ready, steady, cook. I like that. I like that for sure. That's actually a cool idea. I think like we do have a lot of fun little projects and pieces of content that we want to.
I guess that's kind of the idea of For Humans in a way. I mean, For Humans is just the brand behind everything, and you probably noticed with our shop, if you have seen it, there is some For Humans stuff around. That was kind of our catchphrase with Civitas coming from the barbershop we were in beforehand, was making a space for humans, and I guess For Humans became our little catchphrase. So we've just used that for our. It's just a brand.
The overall
if you
brand.
know Civitas, you know For Humans. If you just know For Humans, then you can use that as its own thing.
Yeah.
But the idea was that we're going to sort of run content through that as well. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be this podcast, but this is a part of it. And if you like hearing our voices, you can go and watch some other stuff, which we have planned.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like this whole year, without getting too much into it. Did
you say how many poos you did on Christmas Day? I don't think you
gave
a number.
I did 5.
You did 5?
Yeah, and they were like solid too.
I thought it was 3.
No, I don't think I Snapchatted the other. I Snapchatted my brother the 4th one.
Right.
And then I didn't Snapchat anyone because it was later at night. I think I just had a protein shake too. So.
Did anyone else poo 5 times on Christmas Day?
Yeah,
Is there any other leader? I was impressed with the 3. And I've only just found out you did 5.
Yeah.
There was 2 unaccounted for stools.
Yeah, they weren't missing.
That's quite impressive. I'll give you that.
Thanks. But like I didn't feel bad about it. It was a good time. Like it wasn't.
Were they all in your own toilet or no?
No, they were all, I did a couple of away games, as my brother likes to call them, away games. And when we complete the mission, we call it a touchdown. But yeah, it was cool. So 5 solid poos.
What's your favourite Christmas meal? I mean, part of the Christmas meal. I had this realisation. I think the thing I like the most about Christmas meals, it isn't necessarily the food. It's the fact that you have like 6 meals on one plate. You never have that.
You got like ham, turkey, fucking
bit of
pork,
salad, some prawns, some everything.
My biggest thing that I fuck with is pavlova.
Oof,
I love pav.
Yeah, a bit of pav
and cream.
Oh.
And there was fucking brandy cream there too.
Oh.
No, brandy ice cream. I had brandy ice cream. I was punching myself. I'm not punching myself, but fucking physical violence. But I really wanted to buy a pud.
I didn't have any pud this year either.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
Have you ever had pud before?
I love pud. Bit of pud. Never said anything about pud.
So if you yet again like Arnie Donner, that's the kind of humor that Jacob and I have. We have that kind of.
We kind of find something and it either stays around for a week or a few months.
Yeah, like if you ever notice you come in the shop, you'll notice like Jacob and I will just kind of get real close to each other and we'll just kind of whisper things, or we find TikToks like what was a fucking like the Bing Bong thing was a while, and then What was the other one that will?
Our favourite one right
Francis.
now.
Yeah, what's the one we're repeating heaps now?
Our favourite one is Clayton's World.
Oh, Clayton's World, fantastic.
He's Australian, and it's him who he has Down syndrome, and I think it's his brother. At first I thought it was his carer, but I think it's his brother.
Legends.
They record stuff, and it is hilarious. It's very wholesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Full disclaimer, like this is, and because I got that feeling of like, fuck, is everyone ripping on him, or are they generally like?
Yeah, but it's the same as Francis, the train guy. I don't know if you've seen him, but everyone in the comments of both is just super wholesome about it, and knowing TikTok and how ruthless some children can be on there.
Yeah.
I've experienced the brunt of that.
They're
very, yes. I think TikTok comments rewards the person who is the most ruthless, because obviously the highest liked comment is at the top. So people are just trying to rip into them. But then every now and then you get these little gems of Francis and Clayton, and all of the comments are really nice.
Yeah, they're just wholesome and they're supportive, and it's fucking sick. So yeah, going on the Clayton's thing, like,
he's a legend.
But what we're talking about with the humour, like we'll just get stuck. A lot of people would, and it's not like that bing bong thing. Like everyone got onto that shit, and it was like, fuck your life. Like my wife and I do that shit. But yeah, we love Clayton's World. Like
Clayton's
fuck his fuck. Yuck. Fucking love him, eh? It reminds me of my friend Nathan Brooks. Like I used to be friends with a kid that he wasn't Down syndrome. He had a disability, but best mates with him since pretty much kindergarten all the way through till year 12. And we just lost contact throughout the years and stuff like that. Recently contacted him again, but he didn't want to bar me. I was like, hey, bro, how you doing? He's like, good. I was like, fuck, what have I done now?
Didn't he say looking at a house or buying a house or something along those lines?
Yeah, but it was like, it was nothing, like I was like, come on, man, like, don't leave me hanging.
He's living his life.
Yeah, he's living his life.
On.
But anyway, I would like to introduce our next guest is Cody John Jarvis. It's your time, my friend. We should actually plug him in. Nah, you can borrow my microphone.
Do we have
just while you're up, can you please make sure the cameras are still recording? Because they're on a 30-minute timer.
He's only using you, Cody.
What time is it? How long have we got? How long does it say it's been recording there?
Still got heaps of time, mate.
17, 18. We've got
bloody heaps of time.
10 minutes, mate.
That's another guy I've forgotten about on TikTok. You know that dude that would have he'd have the mic across his face.
Oh yeah, that guy.
And you'd be like,
what brings you to the doctors, mate?
Yeah.
I'm in pain. Why are you in pain?
What a guy.
Yeah, what a
Cody
guy.
John Jarvis, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
How are you going?
He's paid
good,
to
man.
say this, by the way.
I think so. Cody John Jarvis is the apprentice here at Civitas. I was going to say
Barber apprentice.
Barber apprentice. He's also the apprentice of the shop. He's not just a barber. He's just an apprentice.
Does it
of the
all.
shop. He does it all.
Cocktails, want one? Cody's
Yeah.
got ya.
Yeah.
Haircut, got ya. Mullet, got ya.
Photos, got ya.
What else do you do? Sweep the floor?
You got your fucking floor swept? Hi,
Best
Cody.
apprentice.
So, Cody, what is it like working here at Civitas?
It's a blast.
Would you work anywhere else?
Nope.
Oh, take that. Sucked in. Got him.
Is this the best place you've ever worked in your whole life?
100%.
Laser tag. I feel like that would be a pretty close second.
Yeah, you used to work at Laser Tag, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a manager at Laser Tag at Wyoming for 5 years, so that was good fun.
Was there any children that had a accident while playing laser tag that you might have to clean up, or
Did any kids shit in the floor?
No one shit on the floor.
piss perhaps?
Not that I've noticed.
Damn.
It was pretty dark in there. But
That's true. You could probably do a dump in a corner and no one would find it. That would actually be pretty tactical. You could shit on the floor. Someone could step in the shit. And then when they're like, what the fuck, I've stepped in shit. Bang. Got ya.
Slipped, and then you just come over the fucking wall, just a bang, bang, bang.
Unlucky champion.
That's how you play paintball. Yeah. Um.
Come on, rattle it off. No dead silence.
No.
What is the worst job you've ever done? And what was your worst day at that job?
McDonald's.
When did you work at McDonald's?
When I was like 16.
For how long?
About a year.
How much do you get paid?
Not enough.
How many hours did you
2
work?
nuggets.
10.
10 a week?
Yep.
That's a lot of hours.
I
for
feel
a
like
fucking
that.
16
I don't know, Nicholas. Do you have a job that you worked where something horrific happened? It was definitely your worst day, off the top of your head. I can go. I did a. Oh, let me think about this. I can't. There's one notable day that I didn't have a good time. I did a trial for a car sales traineeship when I was 18. I didn't like it, as you can tell, because I cut hair now. Although, there was one day where, so, out on the lot, I don't know if I've told you this. I don't know, maybe.
I never knew you worked there.
Really?
I thought your dad works at one.
No, Dad's always worked with cars, but I did like a trial. I was only there for like 2 weeks because I hated every second
I've
of
got a funny
it.
story to tell you after something.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Just brought something back up.
one day they told, so obviously you have a car lot and there's all the cars on there and it's very tight, and they every now and then have to shuffle a car around or move something somewhere, and it's a nightmare because it's like playing Tetris with cars, and every now and then you have to go out and start all the cars and make sure they're all like still alive and the battery hasn't died and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, the dealership I was at, they had told me, when you go out and move a car, make sure there's someone with you so that they can like guide you. And the person who was guiding you, it was always their responsibility to make sure you weren't going to hit anything or do anything silly, right? Because everything's so tight. And I believe I had to move a car out of the way to get something else out. And the way that this car yard was layered, there was almost like 2 or 3 levels and a slight ramp in between that was literally the size of a car. And one of the other salesmen was like, oh, can you just quickly move that and just chuck me the keys? And I was like, yeah, okay, it is what it is. I'll go and move the car. I'm doing what I'm told. I'd been there for maybe a week. So I get in this ute and I've moved like 2 or 3 cars already, and I'm like reversing up the ramp to try and like finagle this car out. So as I'm reversing up, and I've got a reverse camera and everything, so I'm fine. And I get halfway up the ramp and the car just hits something, bang, and it just stops. And my heart dropped and I was like, fuck, here we go. Thinking I had just completely annihilated the rear tub because it felt like the car hit something and then rolled back.
Killed someone.
And I either had killed someone, run over a small child or animal, or had ruined this car. And there was this guy who worked so up the top was LDV, and they were like so small at the time. There was only one salesman who had worked at this like company for ages. And he had known my dad for a long time, and he was like walking past at the time that this happened. So I opened my door and he's standing there with this like blank look on his face and like, oh shit. And he was like, oh no, like it's sweet. He went into like sort of like trying to help me mode. And I run around the side, and I haven't actually really damaged anything. It's just the rear mud flap had got caught on like the corner of the brick and just ripped it off. But I was still shitting my pants because I thought I'd annihilated everything. And he kind of just grabbed it and yanked the last bit of it off. And he's like, oh, it's fine. We'll figure it out. But I could see the guy who was the dealer principal for where I was working, and he was just looking at me from his window in his office.
I can just picture that.
And I was like, and this guy talked like Jeremy Clarkson, which was even funnier because he was English. And he talked exactly like Jeremy Clarkson. But I was like, here we go. I don't know. Hey?
Was he English?
Yeah, he was.
Shit.
So he was obviously from like wherever Jeremy Clarkson's from. And I was
cousin.
like, here we go. And he was that kind of dude that just like took the, like, if he was upset about something, he would never let it go and always like tell everyone and almost like make it a joke, but it was always directed at you and how stupid you are. That's how I felt
Jacob
anyway.
Crashed the car.
Yeah. So I had to go down, and he's like, the other dude was like, look, it's going to be fine. And we had to go down to the like storage yard. And luckily enough with utes, everyone takes the tub off and puts a tray on, and they just have them stacked up so they could just undo one and put it back on. But I was not having a good day. And every single person I met from then on was told that I had crashed this car. I hadn't reversed into something by accident. I had crashed the car. Anyway, so I was feeling pretty down on myself that day.
Fucking total write-off.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was not a fun day. But it was all right. And I hated that
Is that
job.
alright?
That was that job that I hated getting up
that-
every day and I felt like I wanted to die.
That would be so stressful. Like, it'd be so... Yeah, I know those feelings, man. Like, you wake up, you feel sick, you're going to work.
Yeah.
And that's why I say I have to pinch myself sometimes, especially because we own this business, is that, like, I get to wake up every day and get to do whatever I want. Really, like, at the end of the day, like, I can get to do whatever I want. Doesn't mean that I have to do... I can just go home and sit down and lay down and fucking go to sleep all day and play video games and shit. If I don't do anything, we don't make money.
You just come to work and do that.
Exactly right. I
Just
just
lie
come
down
here,
here
lay
and play
down,
video
have a coffee, talk to some people, do some business things, and then, have the day off. No, but that just reminded me about a fun little story that I worked in a kebab shop for an hour and a half. And I was meant
An
to...
hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Quite literally. So I'm very big on, if you don't like saying, "Oh, the fuck would you bother doing it?" You know what I mean? You don't want to waste your time.
If you're doing something you hate, stop it.
I had a 3-hour shift on a Thursday night at Westfield Tuggerah, and I was 17 or 16 at the time. I was with Shannon Hopper, that fella that was at the party. We know Shannon Hopper, and he dropped me off or whatever. And my stepsister got the job for me, and Geordie,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll come in, fucking we'll shave some meats, we'll fucking give you some hummus and tabbouleh, all that kind of
Choose
shit.
$2 extra.
An hour and a half in, I was like, this is boring as fuck. I'm like, said to the guy, I was just like, yeah, I don't like this, I'm going to go. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this is shit. I legit said that. And I was like, I had an attitude. I was a piece of shit. And then I left. And then Geordie was heaps upset at me. She was like, what the fuck you embarrassed me for? I was like, what's the big deal? Like, fuck. That 3-hour shift.
Shaving meat.
I shit like fucking making hummus and tabbouleh kebabs.
Was this pre or post pizza shop?
It was pre.
Right, so this is before the pizza shop.
Yeah.
So you liked the
I
pizza.
have some fucking stories about the pizza shop. But
So you like pizza shop but no kebab.
no kebab. I would
fair
open
enougenough.
a pizza restaurant easily. I know how to make
Nick
pizza.
has always talked about this idea of us becoming successful business people and then him opening a pizza shop.
Just
and
retiring
as
on a pizza shop.
owner.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's all I want to do, I think.
Which I can vibe with.
Cody, could you do me a favor, mate? Could you press record on that? Like, press the red button. Is it still recording? Press record. Press the red button. On the right hand side.
Bloody hell.
And then press it again.
You're back.
So we just cut from different cameras, and then Cody's going to do the exact same on this one. We're gonna figure out a system for this shit.
Stupid cameras.
Because like the Sony cameras only have a 30-minute window, and it's really
Bloody
annoying.
ridiculous.
It's like, I just want 45-minute episodes, and I don't know how to figure it out because we're the only ones controlling it. Cody, you can come back now. So Cody, we want to hear one little story from you.
Surely you have something.
What's the shittest like what's one of the shittest things?
Working at Cleanaway was pretty rough.
Believe that.
3:40 starts during COVID.
That would be
and
sick.
Rain, hail, and shine. So that was pretty rough.
Did you drive
Constantly-
the truck or were you in the truck?
No, I was an off-sider, so I didn't even get to drive it.
There you go.
It's constant picking up shit all day, every day. Wet mattresses.
Did you pick up actual shit?
Probably. You probably picked up a soiled mattress at
Fuck
some
no.
point.
Got stabbed with a syringe one day and had to go get tested. That was pretty
There
heavy
you go.
Why did you get tested?
in case I got AIDS from
But you don't get tested for AIDS.
it. HIV.
He got stabbed with a syringe
it's not-
regardless. That's
it's-
probably not a good time.
it's
I'd
not-
probably be pretty worried as well.
Yeah, but it's not like COVID. You don't have to go get a test all the time.
It's like COVID's the only thing you get tested for.
Exactly right. Like,
Chuck it up your nose.
yeah, little blood swab. I'm kind of a bit hungry now. Are you hungry?
I'm starving.
Yeah. Do you want to go get a kebab?
Oh, I could go for a kebab. Cheeky little kebab.
Can I have some hummus on the kebab, please? Do we have anything else to add to this? Like, I famously love like having podcasts pretty short, like not super short, but short enough. Like, I don't want to talk for 3 hours.
No, I think it depends. I think there's a sweet spot of... I always find with a podcast that if it's an hour, it goes by very quickly. If you're doing something, I think at the same time, I'll usually listen to them on the way to work. And I feel like an hour is like... You want a little bit more, but it's not too short.
Yeah, and I think but I mean, if it's like a Joe Rogan podcast or an Impulsive, like they're allowed to go for maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the guest. But if it's like just like brand new podcasts or podcasts that are just like doesn't really like, it's not like Andy Frisella's ones go for like 17 minutes. He just spits his shit, and I'm like, if he spit his shit for fucking an hour and a half, I'd be like, I'm over this shit.
No, I agree. I think, but he's also trying to give something that's usually chatting about something that he's angry about and trying to hype you up, which I think, after an hour you'd probably lose it. But
yeah,
I don't think there's anything that says that you're not allowed to do that.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Every now and then. Joe Rogan's one of them, and then another one I listen to is called Fair Enough by the Fairbairn brothers.
That's fair enough. I have not heard of them for a long time. They are pretty funny.
Did you just think of that then?
I did. Call him a funny fella.
What a legend.
Joe Rogan. Are you a big fan of Joe Rogan, Nicholas?
Not overly. I'm more of a fan of the guests that he have on. Like,
yeah, see, I could only listen to him with certain people.
Yeah.
I like him interviewing people and he's good, but there's a lot of the people he interviews I have no interest in. It's like, who are you? I don't know you by name.
Like the Snoop Dogg one was fucking sick. The Elon Musk one, that North Korean one was mad.
Yeah, that North Korean one
that was
nuts.
wild. You heard that one?
No.
You should listen
you
to that one.
You fucking listen to Joe Rogan or not?
Sometimes.
I don't know what her name was. But she was really cool. She was like this
anyone knows,
from...
The lady from North Korea, yeah. If anyone knows that one.
North Korea, this is the thing. And I feel like a lot of these kind of communist Soviet countries or whatever.
I really want to go to North Korea.
Yes, Nick had this obsession. Well, I mean, we all did around that time.
Yeah.
Everything I kind of... Like, you hear about these crazy stories from these countries and you almost wonder... Is Russia, North Korea, China, all these places really as bad as people say they are? Or is it just because no one knows what's going on? People can just say whatever. And I was always under that impression. I don't think Russia is nearly as bad as what's going on. And I kind of thought, North Korea is probably bad. But at the same time, I don't think it's as bad as people say. Turns out, worse. It's heaps worse. Like, she's talking about how, like, kids are at, like, hospitals where... There's just stacks of dead bodies outside, and there's kids running around chasing like rats that are running in and out of dead bodies and having fun.
They're chasing the rats and then eating the rats and then dying from eating the rats.
So the rats eat the eyeballs of the dead humans. Then the rats get sick. The kids chase the rats and eat them because they're hungry. Then they get sick, get put in hospital, die, get put in the pile of bodies, and it's just this circle of life. But they don't think it's
a circle.
They don't think it's anything different. They just think it's normal. But I was like, I did not expect something like that to be happening. The fact that, like, if your uncle did something against the state, you could be killed or put in a prisoner camp or something.
And your whole family can be fucked.
Yeah, they'll just, like, wipe your entire family out because you've done something bad.
Yeah,
if your house is on fire, you got to save your photo.
Did you see that shit where, like, because it's the 50 years of old mate dying, 50 years maybe? Maybe his grandfather? Yeah, Kim Jong-un?
Probably,
Anyway, whatever. They couldn't cry... No, they couldn't smile.
Yeah, no, you had to be like
for
visually
10 days or some shit.
Yeah, and you had to visually be crying.
Yeah, visually be
Otherwise,
crying. But also, but like this is recent. This is like 2 weeks ago. But it's on Complex. On Complex and a couple of other things as well. Like he announced that like because it's the anniversary, even if your family member died, you couldn't grieve and you couldn't remove the body from the house. If your old person, if your old or your dad or whoever the fuck died in your house, you couldn't actually move the body for 10 days.
It's a real shame, isn't it?
Dirty. I still want to go though.
I'd like to go.
Just to experience the culture.
I actually there's another story. After school, I went to the army and when I was there, I met this guy, Declan, I think his name was, who...
Wafflin.
Yeah, Wafflin. Who was in the army, obviously, but he was a photographer outside of that as well. Anyway, he told me the story about how he went to North Korea and he didn't make it out of the airport, but he was trying to go there. I think from memory, he was saying he was trying to go there to take photos or was stopping over there or something. I mean, you wouldn't stop over in North Korea, so he would have been going there on purpose. Anyway.
It's not like you stop at Singapore or Dubai.
And he gets off and he just starts taking photos of everything, trying to get as many photos as possible. And obviously, like, he took all these photos, but he was pulled aside and they said, "What are you doing?" and he was
What
told to delete all these photos.
doing?
However, he had set his camera up to back up these photos automatically to a drive or something, like it was connected to his Wi-Fi.
Amazing.
So he was able to save these photos,
Yeah.
but he was encouraged to leave the country very promptly. So he did. But yeah, they stood over him and watched him delete all these photos.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that guy that died coming back to America, but that story of that guy that... how did we get on to North Korea? But, like, the guy that stole that poster from the hotel and he fucking got in prison. He was going to be in prison for life.
He was put in like a what do they call it? That's like something camp, like a workers camp or something. Yeah.
Camp. But he came home unconscious and then died 2 days
Yeah,
later.
they try. Supposedly it was Trump, like got him back to the US, had agreed on something because Trump and old mate are best mates.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the time he got back, he was just on a cargo plane, I think, and had been beaten to the point where he had died.
Maybe because like he was going to tell secrets of North Korea.
He could have, yeah. And I think that was just one of their things where they're like,
fascinating
we'll
world,
give
isn't
you
it?
him back because you've asked. However, we can't guarantee that he's going to survive. So have a go.
It's a fucking risk.
But those guys that those Australian guys that were on the Cold Ones podcast, they did a video called like going to North Korea for a haircut or something, and they talked about that. There are two Australians that were like students at the time, and they do YouTube videos, but they had heard that theory about how everyone in North Korea has to have the same haircut as Kim. And they were like kind of using that idea as like a motive for this video to go over there and see if not just the haircut thing, but if everything is like twisted, kind of like what I was saying before, where no one knows what's going on, so they can kind of say whatever. So they went over there and got a haircut as the idea of the video, but also wanted to video themselves in North Korea, which you can do. There's just very specific things that you're not allowed to film, like places of worship, government buildings, anything military related, like very specific things. And they went over there and got a haircut. You can get whatever you want. And they said it was actually a pretty decent haircut. And it didn't look too bad. But they said that whenever they filmed something, they'd like start by like pointing it at the sky and then pan down. So that if someone came over, which they did, and checked, they just thought they were photos of the sky. But they said like it was... Move. Yeah, and they said that there was some like in the cities, like the main cities they were in, there was some pretty normal stuff going on. Like they went to a water park and everyone was hanging out. And they didn't really see anything that was too different.
I got stuck watching a lot of fucking North Korean vlogs. They're all guided tours. You can't go outside. But I also thought that you weren't allowed to, until I watched this vlog, actually travel around. Are you comfortable sitting here just hanging out? You're a part of it now. You just molded into it.
It's co-host.
Where you couldn't leave the city. I can't remember what the city's called. Pyongyang,
I think.
And but this guy ended up leaving the city and went to somewhere. I don't know, but he went north and they looked at places and it was quite interesting seeing the layout of the country. And I think, because it's guided, it wasn't like you couldn't see some.
They're seeing very specific things, and that was like I know at the time there was a dude. I cannot remember what his name is, a while ago that was a part of these vloggers that this guy was like a travel vlogger dude, and him and a few people went over to North Korea on a tour. They were actually, I think, invited there by some company, and he was getting a lot of shit in the comments because people are like, how can you be there and just ignore the fact that there's prisoner camps and all this sort of shit? And he had to wait till he got back to England, obviously, and he's like, are you stupid? Like, why am I going to sit there and be like on a bus being like, yeah, this is a pretty cool place, but there's some prisoner camps 40 minutes away, because who knows what's going to go on.
Yeah. Did he end up saying that he saw any?
No, they didn't see anything, and that was the thing. Like, he didn't see anything because in the cities, I think if you're in the city, I mean, everyone is poor, but if you're going to have money, you're going to be in that sort of area, and everything is made to look a certain way, obviously. And this woman who was on Joe Rogan, she said that, like, in the actual towns and stuff, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, there's a lot more going on.
You would think about, like, the prisoners would probably be hidden away.
Oh, like yeah, they're out in the middle of nowhere, yeah, because they're working a lot of the time, or they're in a prison, but you don't see that. And he just didn't want to comment on anything while he was there for good reason.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were in the comments being like, how dare you be there and ignore the fact that that's happening in this country.
Yeah.
But if you're there, I would not be saying anything. You know what's happening,
no.
but you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to ask the tour guide about
Excuse
prisoner
me,
camps.
where can I find those prisoners?
Ridiculous. They'll probably just send you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing that was funny about those guys, they said when they went there, they went to the temple or whatever where both of those bodies are buried, and they're like buried in these like glass cabinets.
That, yeah.
And they're like, you stand on like a travelator and just kind of like go through this like historic thing, and then you get there and the guards are like standing there just like sobbing, crying.
Yeah.
And I know that woman said that like people genuinely believe that they have to, but they also know that out of fear they have to visually cry and be upset when things happen.
Yeah.
But the people that are there, like the guards, are like genuinely crying and in tears holding these guns, protecting these things 24/7, which they thought was crazy. And he's like, luckily enough, I had a cold, so I kind of looked like I was a bit sniffly and a bit sad. So I think they kind of thought that I was a bit upset. Yeah, I'd love to go. Maybe we'll go there one day.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a challenge video there or some shit.
Who can get who can kidnap the poster and make it out alive?
Yeah, shit. First one is still
or jump the border to China.
Yeah,
which is apparently near impossible now.
Anyway, let's go left way for a minute. Buck, what like I was gonna say, America's such a cool place. I want to go back.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
You've never been to America?
No.
You been to America?
No.
I was supposed to be going in October last year, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, America's a place I want to go, and a lot of people, that's another funny thing is like a lot of people are like, what the fuck you can go to America? It's like, bruh, I've been to America. America is not the land of the free, but America is the land of opportunity. Australia is not super exciting. I'm not getting, this is another thing, like we're not going to get political here. We're just talking, we're speaking minds and stuff and speaking about shit, but I want to go back to America because there's a lot of fun stuff to do. There's a lot of shit to do. Like you live in LA or you live pretty much anywhere in America, there's just a lot of shit to do.
I think the thing that interests me the most is the fact that Australia is so, especially New South Wales, is such a nanny state. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
In trouble for anything.
Nothing.
America, it's like
especially at this time.
Yes.
Especially what we're going through, and
there's dudes in America, it seems like everything flies in, and it's like dudes in Florida that are driving around in a car with no doors, sitting on a milk crate.
Yo, that's what I respect.
No
that's what I respect.
That looks fun as.
It's like, fuck yeah.
If I want to potentially get hurled through a windscreen at 40 kilometers an hour, I'll do it.
100%. Like, you know, and you're scared that you're living in New South Wales and you can't fucking drive without, you know, one light being out in your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
I think that's the fun part. Is just the idea that it's like this.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, be whoever you want. Yeah. I don't know if I'd necessarily live in certain parts of America, but the idea that if you could,
I think and then you know, touching a little bit of mental health perspective there is being able to live in an environment where you'll be able to be yourself too. Like we talk about this a lot, especially with like fashion and stuff like that, and doing things that kind of like you vibe with. There's a lot of people in Australia, especially, I would like to say, have that, you know, tall poppy syndrome, I could say, or that kind of like they're very judgmental, and if you don't go this certain way of living, like, you know, you're
God
going
forbid
against
you wear
exactly
something
right.
different.
It's like, oh, you look at these shoes, like they're
you're wearing a tracksuit.
Exactly right. It's
How
like,
dare you?
Who gives a shit? Like, you know what I mean? Where in America, like, it's actually quite encouraged. Yes, there's a couple of people, and there's, you know, people that are like, oh, that's weird, but majority of the time, especially, you know, in those modern
well, I found in England when I was living over there, the idea. So beforehand, I always was interested in fashion and wanted to wear certain things, but like we're saying, if you walk through a shopping center and you're wearing something slightly different, people lose their minds and you look like you're an alien.
Yes.
But the thing I liked was the fact that in
England...
Come on in,
Haley, you're up next.
In England, it almost felt like there was too many people that no one gave a shit, which was cool. Like, you go on Oxford Street and there's just way too many people that no one has time to stop and be like, that guy's hair's green.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I got that vibe, especially in New York, man, because there's so many fucking people that...
You don't have time to give a shit.
Yeah, Haley, you've been to the States, hey? Yeah, we're just talking... Yeah, it's your time. Haley's coming on. We're just going to quickly talk about the States, and then I think we're going to wrap it up because we're about... Can you just check those cameras are still rolling?
Jesus Christ.
Haley, are they still... Yeah, we're good? Haley, come and sit. Come and sit. It's okay. No one's gonna bite. No one has coronavirus.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed. We've been sharing the mic.
hope.
Though. We've been sharing the mic. So this is Haley. Hello, Haley.
Hello. Hey.
We're talking about the States and we're talking about America and how free it is. The idea of having like, you know, the choice to kind of do whatever you want. Like in certain states, of course, but heaps more than Australia. I feel like we've had a couple of conversations around this, like where Australia's kind of, especially New South Wales, a bit of a nanny state, all this kind of stuff. But what was your experience? How old were you when you went to America? And what was your experience like?
I was only 19, so I was.
So I mean, like 19 is still a pretty good age. You wasn't like you're 9, but
Yeah, no, I just wasn't able to legally partake in any alcoholic beverages. But I loved it over there. I think America is a great place. It's definitely they have a lot more freedoms than we do, especially now.
Yeah. And then getting on that topic of now as well, like, you know, it's it's weird, but it's also not like, you know, each state has their own rules, but at least there's so much more freedom, and especially around like mandating things and I feel like
Sorry, I thought you said men dating things.
Mandating things, so you can date men over there as well, which is fantastic. No, but I just like that idea, as Jacob said as well, like in England, you know, and in any country outside of Australia, I would like to think, even in like, I feel like in Japan, right, their fashion's like so out there.
Yes.
And they wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's part of like, there's part of a thing where obviously when everyone's doing it, it's not a thing, I guess. Like no one cares because there's always going to be someone who's dressing in something different to you. And I think, England's obviously the same.
She's okay.
You've just got so many people doing crazy things that you'll just find someone who's doing your thing and you can be like, vibe with them. But yes, Japan is very similar. Like I think we just have a very small population, and especially where we live, there is no one doing anything. So people have time to care. I guess.
I would like to think that, I think we've got a client coming in 5 minutes, so we might wrap this up in a sec, but I'd like to think that now Australia's becoming a lot more globalized.
It's definitely changing.
Especially with our generation and younger.
Yeah.
Like, I think
the internet has definitely opened us up to everything.
Yes.
People, I mean, we see with haircuts, people now in Australia actually care what their hair looks like, whereas before it was like, if you played footy, long hair, shaved head, that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, there's dudes that have like a signature haircut, and I think that's partially because people can see everyone from around the world doing stuff and kind of mimic the same thing, which is really cool. And same thing with fashion and fucking everything.
For sure.
Just fucking live your life.
Haley, what's the worst job you've ever had?
I used to work at Red Rooter.
What's Red Rooter? Red Rooster? Yeah. I thought it was like a fucking like something else. I don't know. What'd you hate about it?
It was just a terrible place to work.
Heaps of chickens?
Yeah, so many chicken.
Was there anyone that came in? Was there any customers?
It was always really, really quiet.
Yeah.
Have you seen those
money
TikToks
laundering.
where people like, you know, comparing the different restaurants, and it's like, how is Red Rooster still in business?
And then they'll comment. They call people out.
Laundering.
Yeah, they're money laundering.
Do you have any?
What's on? What's the Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Someone's cooking meth out the back and shit. But they think they're cooking. You think they're cooking chickens and shit, but they're actually.
Although Cody seems to like their fried chicken. Is that right?
Yeah, you like
Cody?
that fried chicken? I like
Damn, I'll
those
give
chicken
it a go.
rolls with the gravy and shit.
Chicken roll.
Do you like? Oh, Haley doesn't eat chicken.
I don't eat chicken.
Did you eat chicken back then?
Yeah, I did. They were pretty good.
Those are
You
pretty
like
good.
cheesy nuggies?
Back in the day, yeah, I did.
All right, we're getting Rude Roaster on the next podcast.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, just last question. If you could eat cheesy nuggets for the rest of your life or carrots, which one would you eat?
Well, I don't eat chicken now, so I eat carrots.
No, but like if you wanted to.
I think if I wanted to, I probably still could. Like, but
Chicken go and
carrots
eat
or
one.
chicken nuggets?
carrots.
That's disgusting.
Carrot gang.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the podcast.
So yeah.